Question. Order. Question number 2, Andrew Little.
My question is to the Prime Minister. Has he asked his housing ministers for a report of how many affordable houses have been built in the Auckland special housing areas, and if not, why not?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, no, but I would expect that the Auckland Council, who argued vigorously for those requirements, will collect the information. I do regularly receive reports from ministers on the impact of special housing areas and many other government initiatives. These impacts include almost 5,000 consents for new homes in special housing areas, 10,400 consents issued over the last 12 months, flat house prices in the last 9 months, and improving housing affordability, according to Massey University, none of which has been assisted by the Labor Party's opposition to the Point England development.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
In light of that answer, and focusing for the moment just on things that people actually live in, called a house, why is the government unable to say how many affordable homes will be built in the Auckland special housing areas?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, as I've just said, I expect the Auckland Council will be able to collect that information. They are in by far the best position to do so. The government focuses on the broader picture of housing affordability, and with flat house prices and rising incomes, housing affordability is now gradually improving. And if the Labor Party had not opposed the Three Kings development and the Point England development, we would have made even more progress.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Why is the government also unable to say how many affordable homes will be built in its cynical hut development?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, I just disagree with the member's assertion. He can ask the minister about the detail, but the Hutt Valley has one of the highest concentrations of state housing, traditional state housing in the country, some of the worst state housing stock, and the irony is that the Labor Party want to leave it how it is, whereas we want to rebuild the Hutt Valley.
Order. Point of order, Andrew.
I think the Prime Minister finished answering that question about at the end of his first sentence, and he shouldn't have been allowed to carry on. Anyway, supplementary.
I don't agree with the member on this occasion. There's been a lot of interjection, and if the members to the left and right of the Leader of the Opposition are going to continue to interject through the answer, then they've got to expect a little bit back in return. Supplementary question, Andrew
Thank you,
Little.
Mr Speaker. It's all left to see I'm in the centre again. Will overseas speculators be able to buy any of their houses built in the Hutt or the Auckland special housing areas? And if so, why does he allow that?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, I know the Labor Party is very focused on, I think, the 3% of overseas resident taxpayers, many of whom who may or may not be what he calls speculators. What you know is that in a market where more supply is coming to the market more quickly than ever and house prices are flattening, then the room for speculation is very minimal.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
How can he expect to be believed on housing when core logic says the number of sales to first home buyers is at its lowest level in 20 years?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, there may be arguments about what those numbers actually mean. What we know is that the housing market is going through an adjustment, and that will have... Well, now, the members were against the prices going up, and now they're against them not going up, which is, on planet Labor, logical, I suppose.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Given that he, along with the rest of New Zealand, must undoubtedly agree with Nick Smith's self-assessment that he is not a miracle man, could he encourage Nick Smith to at least become a mediocre minister who actually builds some affordable houses?
That's right. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, if we're looking for examples of mediocrity, we don't need to go any further than the Labor Party. That's for sure. There's plenty of them. Minister Smith has delivered special housing areas, Home Start grants, new Auckland Unitary Plan, Crown Building Program in Auckland, National Policy Statement on Urban Development, RMA Reform Bill, Unit Title Corporate Reform, Urban Development Authorities and Building Act Liability Reform. What an outstanding contribution from a team led by Nick Smith.
Supplementary.
Order. Order. A little less interjection from both sides. Thank you. Andrew Little, supplementary question.
Mr Speaker, notwithstanding his list of things that have contributed nothing towards greater housing affordability, given that after 9 years his government is delivering the lowest level of home ownership in 66 years, and houses built on public land are being snapped up by speculators, when will he wake up and see that it's time to build truly affordable houses, stop the speculators and ensure that every Kiwi family has a place they can call their own?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, the member's just wrong about what he's saying. I mean, he's even unhappy about the announcement today of 700 new houses in the Hutt Valley, which will be reasonably priced houses. But the good news is for the Hutt Valley, it's just the start, because there are thousands of houses in the Hutt Valley that can be rebuilt, land used more efficiently, and over the next 10 years we are going to rebuild the social housing stock in the Hutt Valley.
Question number 3. Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is